What's going on, everybody out there in YouTube world, YouTube land? I am Real Estate Jay. I'm Jay Jones, and I'm gonna make a reaction video today to a Breakfast Club interview with, I think his name is Vivek Ramaswamy, and then there's a lady that comes on here named Tezlyn Figaro. Right? I've never heard that last name, but I got to make this reaction video because it's on my head. It's on my head. So I got some live streaming going on between Instagram and Facebook. If they got some things they want to chime in on, I'll definitely throw that on the video. I just got to react to this, right? Because I like, I'm not going to tell you what I like. I think that there's something in here that's very, very important to talk about. So I'm going to start doing more. How you doing, Aisha? Appreciate it. So we got my man Rob on here. What's going on, Rob? So let's talk about it, and I hope y'all can all hear it. Let's go.
I just think it's a formula for corruption when you have unelected bureaucrats that are actually setting policy. But that's a detail compared to my point.
We're gonna get to it, right? 10 more seconds. I literally believe that she was brought onto this show to just get him into a corner, and she absolutely failed. So just hang with me 10 more seconds. She's gonna come on.
Point, which is, we need to revive the ideals that the nation was actually founded on and do a better job of aspiring to them.
And we have Tezlyn Figaro. I'm sure Tezlyn has some questions. Tez, you good?
Yes, I do. So I've heard.
And by the way, I believe that she works with Charlemagne on some of his shows. I think Charlemagne is a part of something called Black Effect. And like, I haven't heard a lot about her, but I believe they work together. So I believe she was brought on this show for a reason.
A lot of, you know, what you think and your vision, and I'm a very practical person, and I want to kind of oppose to talking about your opponents. Let's talk about you for a moment, and let's actually talk about your policy.
Let's talk about you for a moment and your policies. You already know this is about to be a bad deal, but my man handled this thing well. Let's go.
Explain to me your position on this civic duty voting.
Sure. So my position is, I think that every kid who graduates from high school should know the minimums about the country that we require an immigrant to know about the country in order to become a citizen. So there's a test. My mom had to pass it. Every immigrant has to pass it to this country that asks you some basic questions. What are the three branches of government? What branch of government does the U.S. president lead? Some basic questions about what is the Bill of Rights. It's like a multiple choice exam, or some of them you write in.
All right, I'm going to speed it up a little bit. So very good question, right? What are the three branches of government? Can any of you guys answer the three branches of government right now? Because that's kind of true. Some people don't even know that. And I thought that was a decent point, right? I mean, because you're hearing this more from an immigrant, not immigrant, because he's not an immigrant, but he's talking about immigrants that come to the United States and the things they need to know about this country. We talk so bad about this country all the time, but we don't know how good that it actually is compared to the other countries. Do you guys know the three branches of government and how they actually work? A lot of people don't.
I think that if we're going to ask immigrants to pass that test, as we should, I think every 18-year-old who graduates from high school should have to pass that as well, because young people, it goes back to that issue of pride. You don't value a country that you don't know something about. You don't value something you inherit.
I think he's right. All right, I don't see anything wrong with the comment that he's making right now.
You value something you have a stake in creating, in building, or knowing something about. So how do we think big about this? Well, young people, as I told you, most of them, very few of them vote as it stands today. Super small numbers. And apparently 60% of them say they would rather give up their right to vote than give up TikTok. Well, I say, all right, let's take that to...
Really? A lot of them would give up the right to vote for TikTok. Now, I would be interested in knowing what kind of age group that was, but I don't know. And that's probably the problem with today, is that it's all about social media and what appears on there and how it makes people feel, right? Because it's all about feeling. Man, I'm not giving up my right to vote for some stupid social media TikTok for people who don't even care about me and like me for real. They could barely hit a like button. All right, whatever. I digress. But that's ridiculous. But that's a valid point, because young people just are ridiculous.
To the next level. How about we do something that raises the voting age from 18 to 25, but you still get to vote at 18 if you just pass that same civics test that an immigrant has to pass in order to vote. And tests aren't for everybody, so be it. Then you at least serve in the military or a first responder role for 6 months. That's my civic duty voting proposal. And the reason is, I'll actually make a prediction. I think youth voting in this country will skyrocket. After from a very low level right now, it will skyrocket because you value something you actually have to earn. And I think that this is not a left-wing or right-wing point. We all have duties as citizens, right? You know, we aspire to free market capitalism, right? Materialist advance. And that's the life I've lived as well, by the way. My parents came to this country with not a lot of money. I've lived the American dream. I've made a lot of money by building businesses.
Let me stop this point right here, because one day I'm going to make a video about this, because I got a lot of friends who are Middle Eastern, right? Chaldean, Arabics, Albanians. And when they come to this country, a lot of them come to this country with nothing, not knowing the language, and finding ways to really, really get ahead in America, right? And a lot of them work together. They work with their families, all those things. But what he's saying is basically, you know, how they came over here with nothing, not knowing anything, and found a way to become successful. And that's why I think even us as black folks, like, we have no reason to complain. Okay. We get it. Racism is out there, but it's not all day, every day, right? We're in 2023. We can make things happen. Anyways, I digress. That's another video.
That's one side of what it means to be an American. But part of it is we also have duties to this country. And I think the more we wake that up, actually, the voting age only became 18 in 1971 in the context of the Vietnam draft. So I just think reviving those ideas is going to be good for us.
So let's prove your point. Nick, our camera guy, do you know the 3 branches of the federal government?
Over 24, so it don't matter.
But I'm just saying, but nobody knows there are 24. Red, do you know the 3 branches?
Exactly.
Well, I got a test.
See, he just proved his point. Like, my man don't even know the 3 branches of government, right? And that's important to know how the company even works. Most people don't even know how their own business works, how their own company works. So they for sure don't know how the United States of America works. And that's what he's saying. You should know these things. Whatever. Go ahead.
I would like to see if you're willing to pass, because I believe in, just as you believe in civic engagement, I believe.
So the fact that she just said that and they're laughing. See, like, this is what I don't like. I don't like this. I don't like the fact that they brought her on here to be this little rude lady and try to go at him because she's got this attitude, right? She's got the same attitude I've seen at a lot of black women, man. She just tried to be overpowering, real snappy, and now they're laughing because they know her. They know how she's about to come. I don't find it funny, but go ahead.
In changing the ideas of what political opponents look like, what they should look like, or political candidates. Are you willing to take a test with me quickly? Because I just have a couple of questions for you.
I've heard this one, and I mean, there's no winning. There is no winning this test with her. There's just none. She's just, whatever real answer you're gonna have, she's gonna make another answer of how you were wrong. But whatever.
I will.
Absolutely.
So and the way this is opening up, I have a feeling I'm about to fail it. But that's good. Let's do it.
That's right. Yeah.
Look, she even said it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because she already know. I'm just gonna do some things to piss you off.
Just for clarity, I am an independent. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican.
Cool.
I think that's important for the premise of the argument, because I know you did a lot of debating at Harvard. I also want to make it clear that these are the same questions that I asked liberal Democrat Marianne Williamson. So I want to make sure that we put that out there as well, just to kind of set the foundation.
I'm open to being humbled. Let's do this.
Okay, great. Let's go. So you mentioned, the pride of being an American and how important it is to have pride in this country. I'm also a veteran, by the way, for the United States Air Force. So when is it that you voted for the first time?
I voted in 2020.
Okay, so you're how old again?
I'm 37 years old.
So for how many years you sat around and did not get involved at all in any civic engagement?
Sat around? See, this is how you already know that this is about to go left. Sat around? How do you know what this man was doing? Talking about sitting around and stuff. Like, that's just this the audacity and how rude you can be, not even knowing someone, and you talking about they were sitting around, right?
Engagement, is that my understanding?
A long time is the answer. And actually, that's what I wrote this book about. I'm not holding myself out as some sort of model. I'm actually offering myself as a self-reflection of my journey as a citizen, to whom this country has given much, right? As an adult, when you have kids, it changes your perspectives. I'm very honest about that. Absolutely.
Okay, no problem.
Why don't you tell her to go read that book, right? Tell her to go read a book then. Because, like I'm saying, she's coming at this man like she knows him and all that stuff, man. This lady Tezlyn her attitude sucks, man. But go ahead.
So let's go deeper into the self-reflection. So you've sat around and sir, I'm being as respectful as I possibly can. Please don't take.
No, she's not. No, she's not. That's just to soften up the blow that she's about to throw next, right? I'm being respectful as possible. No, you're not, right? Anytime any of y'all hear that, somebody trying to say respectfully or I'm being respectful. They're about to do something that's not respectful. All right. There's word of advice. Don't even take it because they about to try to come with something low.
Take anything
and you don't even have to be. And you don't even
Yeah.
have to be. So take it off and let's go.
So you've been sitting around in the country that my ancestors built for about 20 years.
It
Your
gets
parents
worse.
came over as immigrants, brought you over. You made millions, according to your resume, off of this country, and you have absolutely not been involved in civics. One, not voting, and two, let me just ask, because I know you mentioned earlier you don't want to sit around at the debate and talk about accomplishments. Let's make the accomplishments pretty simple. In high school, were you ever a class president or take any leadership role? Because your opponent did, Chris Christie. He was the class president. So
Man, save that garbage. Did you just go back to high school? This man has been so far removed from high school. What in the world does high school have to do with real life? She just asked this man if he took any leadership roles in high school. I didn't, but I own a couple of my own businesses. What does that matter? That means absolutely nothing. I've done so much more since high school, and I'm sure he has. That's probably because she's done the most probably in her life that she feels accomplished by what she did in high school. I've never heard somebody ask a question like that. That's absolutely ridiculous.
have you ever taken any leadership at all on anything, or just?
Can I just correct a couple factual things that are kind of important? My parents didn't bring me over to the country. I was
Okay,
born in
scratch
this
that
country,
off
and I'm proud
No,
of that.
no, I know you were born here in Ohio.
Yeah.
Ohio.
You mentioned my
I'm
parents
saying your
brought me
parents
over.
were immigrants.
You said-
My apologies.
and it's all right. You said your parents brought you over to this country. I
Yeah,
thought I
my
would set that
apologies.
record
I
straight.
mean, they were immigrants, but let's
They
not
were
go down the
immigrants.
water
Oh,
hole.
no, we're not going to water. I just want to correct a couple facts. And then the other thing is,
You were born here in Ohio.
I was born in.
So he's an American, lady. He's American. So shut up. And he just shut you down. See, this is the problem that I have with people like this. See, when they're wrong, they're gonna try to overtalk you and then go to the next point. No. Like he said, no. I'm gonna go ahead and show this right here. What's going on, Nicole? Yeah. She just asked this man what has he done as far as a leadership role in high school. And this man has run multiple businesses, as if that matters. But stick to that point and shut it down. See, she don't want him to stick to that point. She wants to try to control this whole thing because she wants him to look bad. And he's actually shutting her down, and he's actually looking pretty good. To me, I'm actually liking this guy as a candidate, to be honest with you.
Cincinnati, Ohio. That's right.
Right. So
Yeah.
you've been here your entire life. So the question
That's
is,
right.
did you take any leadership role in middle school, high school, class president?
I did,
I
yeah.
know you played tennis. What is it? Explain it to us.
Student council. But I think that this is yes, I've held leadership roles over my life, but those don't qualify me to do what I'm doing now.
Yeah,
That's
Yes, right, exactly. He said, okay, I was part of the student council. Like what does that mean? But that doesn't mean anything in real life. There is life after high school. If you met me in high school, I was a poor student. That doesn't mean I'm a horrible person. That doesn't mean I'm not going to be successful in life. Most of the most millionaires, they don't even have a high school diploma. What does this have to do anything? They probably didn't do much in high school. See, this is a broke people mindset. Like, I swear, like this right here is broke people mindset. Nicole says high school don't teach you to be an entrepreneur. Hell, college doesn't even do much in that department. Exactly. Yeah, like education does not equal success. And the fact that she's asking him what he did in school, like in grade school. What the hell does that mean? Why does that even matter? That's a broke people mindset. This man is he's telling you like, okay, I've had businesses, but I mean, this doesn't mean anything. Like, I mean, we're talking about something I did in high school.
Kind of does.
Okay,
Well, it kind of does. Well, I'm giving the test. I'm the test
Okay,
administrator.
all right, there you go.
So it kind of does, because when you go from saying I want to go to the highest office,
And I'll tell you,
of the
I've led companies as well. Is the other leader?
Right,
The
well,
main leadership
right, but-
role I played is, and I want to talk about one early part of your premise that I also want to say, bring it to the country point. The other point, you use the word sitting around. I'm not somebody who's saying I want the next generation, my kids' generation, to have more civic duties when they graduate from high school and college than I did when I did. That being said, I wasn't sitting around. I've developed medicines, 5 of which are FDA-approved products today, one of which is a life-saving therapy in kids, 20 of whom die by the age of 3 if they're not treated, 70% of whom now live lives of a normal duration. Another one for prostate cancer. So I don't apologize
excuse
for
me,
making
sir.
contributions. But
Right. Well, I don't want you to filibuster that
No worries.
because
Just
that's
not
not the
sitting-
question that I.
What? Filibuster? Shut up, lady. He just told you I've ran companies. He just told you that. He just told you what he was doing. That's leadership. That's real leadership. is being able to lead a company and hire people and lead them. How many companies? My question is, how many companies have you created, Tezlyn? How many are successful? Right? How many are still running right now? That's a leadership. That's somebody I would want to run as a president. Somebody that knows how to work with people and take a business and be successful, go through the ups and downs, because that's what it is. I don't want no more senators and all these garbage people that's just sitting, you know what I'm saying, in the Pentagon, whatever the hell they sit at, and then they just become president. What have you done, Tezlyn? Probably nothing. You served the country. Thank you. You served our country. Other than that, what other thing have you done?
And I don't consider as a veteran, I'm talking about service. I'm not talking about what you
Civic
did for
service,
profit. I'm not talking about what you paid people to do with your
So
company.
That is service. My man is creating, he's got medications and he's creating companies. He's helping someone, and he's helping the United States, because I'm sure he's probably paying taxes or some taxes of some sort, but he's employing people. That's a part of service.
I've not served the country
because that
in the way
means
you
nothing
have.
to me.
You do
What I'm
realize
talking,
she
what
hasn't
I
been
am
able to ask a question. She's been trying to
Go
ask
for
a
it,
question,
yeah.
and you've been talking over her.
I'm
and
all ears.
We gave you the platform to let you say
Seems a
what
little
you said.
defensive.
I'm all ears. No, I was just correcting a couple facts.
She hasn't had a chance to
That's
ask a
all.
question yet. Every
Go
time
ahead,
she
Jay,
tries
ask
to
the
ask a
question.
question, you've been cutting her off. Good.
I'm all ears.
You know what? DJ Envy, and I agree, Nicole, you know, colleges and everything. Let's see. Anton says college is good education, but it will get you into deep debt, and it's no promise that they will get in their field. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, education doesn't mean anything. Let me tell you something. The Breakfast Club, I've stopped watching them years ago, and it had nothing to really do with like the host and all that. I just didn't really like the show anymore. It was the same. I didn't like where it was going. DJ Envy, he just told him to let Ramaswamy stop so that she can finish talking. She has been talking. She's been talking more than him, and she's not saying anything. Like, I'm so done with DJ Envy, Charlemagne. That whole show to me is garbage now, bro. Like, it's the same stuff, and it's not good for the culture, right? We like to use the culture around for black folks. It's not good for black people, man. Like, they're not showing you nothing for real. Once in a while, they might have somebody come on there that's an entrepreneur. I don't like that platform. And DJ Envy, let him finish. She ain't talking about nothing, man.
Ears.
So my question again is, you're trying to, your goal is to raise the standard, and you're saying you want people to believe in country, and you want people to have civic engagement. And sir, I just find it very telling that you haven't had any civic engagement at all, and haven't been at all. And when I say sit around, I don't mean you haven't done anything. I'm talking about in regards to service, because one thing about political office, the same way that you want to change how people look at politics and look at this country, I want to change how people look at politicians. And when I see that someone hasn't did anything at all to be of service to mankind, to take a leadership role. It's not good enough to just be on city student council. Were you a leader? All of that applies. Have you been able to get anybody in the room at any time, from a high school gymnasium to Ohio, Republican leadership there to now? Have you been able to get anybody in a room to believe in this vision? I don't agree with a lot of your vision statement, but I do know you've been going around having these discussions and getting everybody emotionally worked up to talk about vision and debate. But I want to get to the practical. You're trying to go from preschool to president of the United States. You're skipping.
Bro, are you kidding me, dog? She keeps talking about school. She keeps talking about, like, she keeps talking about elementary, middle school, and high school type stuff. Why does this matter, bro? This means nothing. Is your mind that small so that's all you can think about? Because you probably figure he's older. He can't think about all the things he did when he was in school, so that's how I'm going to get him. She just said from preschool to president. Nicole says, wow, she really isn't providing any value. Yeah, she's just talking. Like, she's literally just talking, and she's probably found this one little talking point that many people probably don't do well in, because who the hell cares about high school and middle school and preschool? She's a goofball, man.
Skipping over city council, county council, mayor, governor. You want to go straight to the top. So my question is this a PR? Is this for the PR, the perception of reality? Or can you point to any leadership where you've been able to get people to believe in what you're talking about that they're not paid to do on any of these vision statements that you have? If not, then to me, it's a moot point, because you're holding a standard that you haven't met yourself.
Take Final Cut Pro to the next level.
I gotta turn that one down because I got ads on. But let's go ahead and skip this ad. Get back to the video.
So if you're only going to count government service, You're
No,
absolutely
not government
right.
service.
Okay.
Student council in the 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th. Were you a leader? Did you do anything to rally anybody? Did you fight for?
Bro, man, she cannot have a man. She cannot have a man for real. I don't know. My guess is she can't be married. Because I mean, when you went right back to this school stuff again, and we're not even talking about college. We're talking about middle school and high school, like student council. Who gives two about student council? Man, oh my gosh, I feel dumber by listening to this lady. She has not talked about anything about what this man plans to do with his policies, how he plans to run. None of this has anything to do with what he's going or what he's running for. We're talking about she's trying to corner him into saying that he hasn't done service for the United States, even though this man has done service by having companies. So she's trying to say because he's done that and made money that he hasn't serviced the United States because she went to the military. So she's trying to do this comparison game. She's really trying to compare herself to him. Okay, you went to the service. Great. You decided to do that. Why can't he decide to go a different route? To me, he's a genius. He became an entrepreneur. He's a multi-millionaire. That's who I would want to run my country. Someone who knows how to run business, not someone who's broke and a senator for years and doing the same old thing. We're tired of that. This is changing the presidential landscape. We don't want to see those same people in office no more. Don't get me started on the person that's in there right now.
Better lunch. I did in the 6th grade with Miss Harris.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about government. I can go all the way back from the 5th grade every year, sir, because people who are in service to this country, if you're going to go around saying you want people to believe in this country that I signed up to die for, then I want to make sure that you're holding that same standard. So not government, not political. Let's not get it confused. Yeah. I'm saying, have you did anything of service that we can point to say he is a good leader, like Chris?
She's back to... Bro. She just mentioned Miss Harris. I don't even know a lot of the teachers back in the day. She really takes pride in what she did in middle school. That must be her biggest accomplishment in life, is she was a part of student council or some type of board or fought for somebody in school. This is her biggest freaking accomplishment. This is probably what helped her do anything in politics. This is so minor.
And I'm not even a fan of Chris Christie, but he was the student council president in high school. So have you done anything of service besides yourself that has not benefited yourself?
In the past.
So the acts of service that I have performed are small, so small that I don't even want to talk about them to boast. But yes, have I volunteered for this country? Yes, I have. I've always been interested in healthcare.
It's okay to talk about the small things. I mean,
these are small things, right? But thank you.
Okay, where's DJ Envy at? Right? She just talked over him. Rude. Where's he at to say, hey, let him finish his point? Man, because y'all got an agenda.
No, well, let's just mention
the hospital.
So it's really a no?
No, it's not a no. It's just something I don't like boasting about. I
well, we're not boasting. It's an interview. You're boasting on your vision and everything else. I think you boasted on the millions of dollars that you made. So let's just throw it out. So
yes, and he should be able to boast on the millions of dollars he made. Have you made millions of dollars, Tezlyn? I bet you haven't. I bet you haven't. That is an accomplishment. Like, what's wrong with that? Wealthy people should be able to say how much they made without making the other person feel less of because they don't have that much money or because they've never seen that much money in their life and they can't fathom having that. What's wrong with that? Nothing's wrong with it. But you want to talk about what you did in middle school when you had absolutely no money. But he's talking about what he's done and he's being humble about it, to be honest. He should just come out and just say, hey, I made way more money than you, so that's my service. And tell me what you can do better than me. That's what he should come out and say.
Grade, I'll give you an example. I'll help you out. In 6th grade, Miss Harris, was let me give you an example because maybe you're confused. In the 6th grade, Miss Harris was snatching papers from everybody in the classroom. So me as a 10-year-old, I went to the principal and said, I'm tired of Miss Harris snatching papers. And I organized the students around getting Miss Harris to stop snatching papers. Now, there was a consequence for that. I got suspended for 5 days for talking back and I got in trouble. I got a spanking and I was on punishment for months and months. But that is a simple way of organizing people. So I want you to kind of boast about it the way you did the millions of dollars and said what you did with the pharmaceutical companies. What leadership can you point to that you've been able to rally anybody around anything that is of service that you did not pay anybody to do? I think that's important for the next president of the United States.
Sure.
Whoa, wait a minute. She really believes that she just dropped a bomb on him? Does she really believe that she just dropped the bomb because Miss Harris again, she fought for some student because they was taking people's papers? You know what, man? This, yeah, Twan, she is definitely jumping off topic. What she's doing, she's really just trying to find ways to corner this person. That's all she's trying to do. And she's doing an absolutely horrible job of doing that. So I can't believe, well, crap. My wife just sent me a freaking photo, but, she does an absolutely horrible job of doing this. And it's crazy because I just don't understand why it means anything. I don't understand why we're talking about Miss Harris and how you took pictures or took papers from people. Like, it doesn't mean nothing. And I can't believe they even had her come on this show. You had her come on this show with this garbage, and y'all really think y'all doing something on the Breakfast Club. This is a minor thing to this man. This is like this man's breakfast right now, messing with this girl Tezlyn. She's not talking about nothing of substance. She hasn't talked about his policies or nothing. Well, let's go ahead and get to it and finish it off, man.
So I've always been drawn to healthcare. That's why I ended up founding companies in that space. When I was in high school, part of what drew me into it was that I was a volunteer at a local hospital. I actually became the leader of that group of volunteers that actually discharged women who had recently given birth. That was it. Nothing big to it.
Did you do anything we can point to stand out?
But I want to say something about that, because I say that in
He just said he was helping women. He was helping pregnant women. Forget it. I ain't even gonna comment on that one.
book. If I'm being really honest, why did I do that in high school? A part of the motivation, I'll be just brutally honest with you, was part of the motivation was that's actually what allows you to get into a good college when you graduate.
Right, so it was about you. So it was about self.
So there's that, and I'm admitting that in a way that very few other people do, but I got to be honest about it. That was a big part of why I did it.
Yeah, it was about self, and I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to give it back to the guys. I'm going to be honest about it with you.
Yeah.
Leadership is not about self.
I agree with you on that.
What I just heard is that everything is about you. And to be honest with you, this is just a PR campaign, sir. To be honest with you, and I think you're trying to go further to the right because you want the Republicans to accept you as a man of color. And I think the only way you think you can do that is to be so extreme.
I appreciate your opinion.
With your positions, and I think you need to do a little bit more work in service. I'll give it back to you guys.
Let me ask, because she did ask me a question, and then you guys say,
you see that? She talked so much, didn't give him a chance to respond, and said, okay, I'm going to give it back to you guys. See, that's what I don't like. See, there's an agenda that she pushed, and that's why she came on this show. She didn't want him to talk. It was all to try to make him look bad, which he doesn't look bad. And this is when women do this, and they'll do all these things, and then they won't let you talk. Now, I'm not talking about all women. And then they'll just cut you off. This snappy attitude that she has is absolutely retarded. I've seen it many a times, and it doesn't mean that she's right at all. What it really means is that she doesn't want to be proven wrong, because this man is very intelligent. If you ask me, he looks and sounds way more intelligent than her. She didn't even let him speak, bro. She said all of that. She did all these run-on sentences and then just stopped him and doesn't want him to respond. He has done his service to this United States. He has done a service to this country by running businesses. It is important for him to be in the ecosystem. What he has done has helped in a great form or fashion. It has helped. You are part of the service. It helps. But you can't just say because he did it and made money that's not service.
You wanted to hear a response, but I think I heard an expression of opinion. So I want to make sure you're all done before I respond to it.
No, just wanted to say that even then, I would still want you to point out, even at the hospital, something that you did that made you stand out on when actually taking the leadership role. But you already.
He just told you, lady. He just told you. But you wanted to take his point and say he was doing it for money. He just told you. That broke people mindset. Why can't he do something to get paid for it? But he was also doing service. You can still enjoy something, and it could be a purpose, and you could get paid. It's fine.
Already answered it. You said you did it because it was a motivation to get in college.
Exactly.
Which means
and
it was
I'm being
about
very
you.
honest about that. But
everything has been about you. So as a veteran,
let me tell you something. I appreciate
it's very hard for me to follow leaders that make everything about them. So you might want to work on.
Oh my gosh. It's very hard to follow leaders that make it about them. He never said that he was doing it for him. You made it seem like he was doing it for him. But let's break down this point. We all live our own lives. The decisions that we make have to benefit us. You have to be selfless before you are selfish. You can't just be out here giving everybody stuff and you don't have nothing to give. But see, that's the broke people mindset. She's thinking that, oh, I'm supposed to do this for free. And if he did that for free and he was, struggling and broke and all that, nobody's going to care, right? You're not going to care. In fact, you're not going to give him credit anyway. So why should he do it for free? What is wrong with this lady? What is wrong with this lady right here? I don't understand why she thinks that he has not done service. And he just said he was in healthcare. He had businesses. She wants to stick to some middle school irrelevant stuff. And then she's talking and not letting them finish. I can't stand this, man. I would never want to deal with a lady like this. And this is why I believe that she does not have a man, a real man. I'm sorry. I just threw it out there because like the way that she's talking and the way that she doesn't even listen and she's responding and all over the place. I might want to deal with that.
On that because it's a lot of veterans and Republicans. So you might want to work on that talking point and maybe do some volunteering while you're on the campaign trail. I'm going to give it back to Charlamagne and Envy.
Yeah.
See, she did it again. And if y'all got to watch the video, the people on my live, y'all got to watch the video. The way she just literally said all that, she stopped her point and then she just looked to the side. Like as if I'm done. I don't want to hear no more. The body language is so not, what do you call it? It's not giving understanding, listening, comprehending. I don't care. She doesn't care about anything else this man has to say. She's going to take one word that he says and she's going to flip it on him. She did nothing but try to corner him. She didn't even give this man the time to respond. This is an absolutely horrible interview by the Breakfast Club by bringing her on here. And you could tell that they have an agenda. And it's ridiculous. The Breakfast Club is very left-centered, right? They're very democratic. That's all they care about. They're following the same agenda that blacks have been following for years. And that's why I say I think it's a garbage platform. You need to be giving us more context. You need to be giving people more chances. Don't bring these people on here so that you could try to corner them and make them look bad. Because she looks bad.
Once I want to be respectful. I want to make sure you got everything you wanted to on the table before I respond.
See, I mean, he's at least trying to be respectful about it. He's trying to say, okay, I want to be fair here. That way I can give my point and give my full point instead of just getting cut off every 2 seconds.
If this was just us, it'd be a lot more.
You guys tell me. I'm the guest on your show. You tell me when I'm good to speak.
Yeah, see, he feeling it. He already understands. He said, I'm the guest on your show. Let me know when I can speak. Because he already knows, man. He's smart. He already see, okay, this is going left. And they on some BS, man. Charlamagne and Envy and whoever the program director is, they all on some BS. They really tried to make him look bad. And they're not letting him speak. So they're going to try to use this as a time for him to say, oh, well, he really looked bad against Tezlyn. I mean, he didn't.
Go ahead.
You sure? You sure about that? If we're good.
Yeah, we're sure.
So I think there's a different worldview that we have. And I think the worldview is how one actually makes contributions in a country. I do not believe that there's a separate category of just if you're serving the country and then if you're acting in self-interest, that's somehow sinful or wrong. I reject that vision. To the contrary, I think capitalism is the best system known to man to lift people up from poverty. I deeply respect and I thank you for your service to this country. I'm grateful for it. I haven't served the country in the way that you have. But I think that the way you get ahead in capitalism, how did I develop a multi-billion-dollar biotech company? It was by developing medicines that save people's lives.
A lot of people say capitalism causes poverty.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
Okay.
I disagree with that. I think that capitalism demands that you provide.
I didn't catch what Charlamagne said. I think he said something like capitalism causes something, and it was like a negative comment. I think capitalism is fine. I mean, it gives people who really want to make it in life and who has a drive an opportunity to be very, very successful and very, very wealthy. I don't look at capitalism as a bad thing. I look at it as an opportunity because not everybody wants to be, a capitalist or wants to be an entrepreneur and all those things. But the United States gives you the opportunity to be able to do that, which is fine. Okay. I don't know. I'm okay with that. I mean, if I can make the most money I can make ever, and I can't go over to another country and probably have that same opportunity. So
provide something to someone that helps them more then you're actually charging them for it. That's the only way.
That's
the
a
tried and
business
true
model,
way
sir. That's
it
not
is a business
service.
model. I'm not
That's
saying
not
it's
service.
I'm saying it's having an impact on
as
society.
an elected official.
You know what, Tezlyn, how many companies do you have? I literally have to go and look this up and come back. I want to know how many companies that she has, because she doesn't understand that the United States of America is a big corporation. They're a big corporation. That's all it is. And they got different businesses within the United States. They're all branches and all that. You can still take business practices and use them to run a campaign. And then to run the country, you could take those type of characteristics when it comes time to doing these things. He knows how to work with people. Part of business is just know how to delegate, get the right people in place, so that way they can implement the structure. Like, she doesn't understand that. She just thinks that this man is just an idiot.
Service. That's the
That's
disconnect
right. So
that you're missing. That they didn't teach
I'm moving on to there are phases of our lives where we do different things.
Well, you're moving straight all the way up to President of the United States.
You know, I don't
Let's
do it as a
start.
But you moving all the way down to grade school. You're moving down to elementary and middle school. That is how low you're going. You're talking about he's going all the way up to the president of the United States, because it's about what's going on now, right? What did Janet Jackson say? What have you done for me lately? Like, ain't nobody on this garbage about what I did back in high school. That means absolutely nothing, lady. He should talk about what he's doing now to become president. That's why he's on this show. He's on this show to show people I'm running for president. Look at me. Listen to my policies. But you want to find something, a chink in his armor somewhere, so that you can say, this is why you don't qualify to be the president of the United States. I don't understand this lady. She sounds very Democrat to me. She don't sound like no independent. An independent would be, what's going on, International Keith? An independent would be somebody who would be asking open-ended questions. They're not going to be the type that's going to just ask you a certain question to get you into a corner and make you look bad for, the left-leaning audience. Like, she's very Democratic focused. She started this interview by saying, I'm an independent. No, she's not.
Hierarchy. I don't view it as a hierarchy. I don't believe in hierarchies. The hierarchy is the way the bureaucracy works. I don't believe in so we have a difference in opinion.
You also don't believe in service, and that's where we're having a disconnect.
Well, I disagree with you on that. I just disagree with you on that.
I think it's whack that you're proposing to revoke voting rights for 18 to 24-year-olds unless they meet certain qualifications, but you never exercise your rights.
Well, most young people don't, is the whole point.
Well,
so, Charlamagne, let me ask you a question. Do you think
the largest voter turnouts have been over the last couple of elections?
They still voted at a very low rate. But let me ask you a question. What do you think about high school students being required to pass the civics test? What's your perspective on that?
The one that you proposed?
The one that every immigrant has to pass in order to enter the country. If every high school student has to pass that before they graduate, what's your take on that?
I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Okay, good. Now let me tell you something about the law as it exists today. Men in this country, not women, but men are required by law to register with the Selective Service, age 18 to 25. That's the draft. We don't have a draft, but men have to register. If you don't, they put you in prison. At least they can. It's a criminal offense if you don't. My view is I would decriminalize that. I don't like the government telling you what you can and cannot do. That's not the American way. But if you want to enjoy the civic privilege of voting, then I think it is perfectly legitimate to say you have to at least know something about the country or have served that country, one or the other. Absolutely.
I don't see nothing wrong with that. I don't see nothing wrong with that. You should know about your country. And that's the problem too, because, and again, this could be another video, but the immigrants that come over here to this country, they still at least know their culture and where they come from. They still know their language. So they still know about themselves. But in America, we don't know a lot of stuff about the United States. We just don't. And we have been here. Generations have been here. I think what he's proposing is not a bad idea. We need new things to happen now. Like, we keep going back to the same old stuff. I mean, he's talking about something different, right? And a lot of people can't name the 3 branches of government. It's very true. And a lot of people probably couldn't pass that same immigrants test. And we've been here for years.
Absolutely. Now, I think that what do we actually care about, right? We can do the personal attack thing. We care about the country. We care about the country.
Mario.
Voting is the cornerstone of democracy. I have
Well,
not.
sir,
Yeah,
excuse
that's
me.
right. And you know, here's the thing. Here's the thing that's
Respectfully,
different
sir,
is,
sir, excuse me, because this is important. We have to pause it. This is not a personal attack.
That's okay.
This is you, and I know that as a Republican, you are certainly not soft. So this is not a personal attack.
Yeah,
This
I'm
is
okay with
asking
attacks,
about
too.
this is about asking about your background and how it correlates, how it's relevant to saying you're going to serve this country, because president is actually.
So I have been an
serving
open
the
book in
country.
the last
No,
3 years.
Yeah, I know, and I'm going
Absolutely.
page by page.
And
but
I'm
it's not
saying
an
that I
attack.
have not-
I'm gonna let you finish,
Yep.
but I want to be clear. It's not an attack.
Okay.
Because you've been an open book, but that doesn't mean I have to like what's on the page.
That's fair
But it's
enough.
not an attack.
You obviously don't like what's on the page. You don't like anything he's saying because you're not even letting him finish his statements. Now, I can't, man. This lady right here is absolutely low-minded, man. What's happening, Mario? Appreciate it. The lady is she doesn't have, bro. She's not smart. Like this whole conversation that she's had with this guy Ramaswamy, she has sounded like the dumbest person I've ever heard. She's probably somewhere in her late 30s, 40s, and she's talking to another man about what he did in middle school and high school, in grade school, as if he can't, and he's done way more things being an entrepreneur and running, he said, a biotech company, a healthcare company, making millions of dollars, and she doesn't want to call that service. She says because he did it for money and his own self-interest, which she don't know nothing about this guy, that's not service. And because she served the country, which she didn't serve the country for free. You didn't serve the country for free. You got paid too. So you telling me, Tezlyn, that you went to the, I don't know if she said Air Force or something. You went to the military and you said, hey, don't pay me, guys. Don't give me no benefits. I'm just going to serve the country for just because I love it, because I love the United States, because I'm a black woman and I love the United States. Man, get out of here. No, you got paid just like everybody else did. So why shouldn't he get paid for creating businesses? Like I said, he's probably paying some type of tax to the state or whatever, state, county or whatever. He's employing people, so he's employing people, so he's paying people. That's part of service. I'm sure that falls somewhere in the ecosystem of benefiting the United States of America. And what have you done? You talking about Miss Harris from whatever school that you're talking about, from middle school or high school, and how you helped kids that were getting their papers taken by her, and you went to the service. Now, what have you done lately other than sit on this Breakfast Club and talk a bunch of garbage and work with Charlamagne? You're not talking about nothing.
I'm just reading the book.
Yep.
And so when I hear somebody say you need to get to either pass this test or do.
Shout out to Mario. Mario says, managing people while running that type of business is a whole different ballgame. Exactly. Managing people is the main thing. It's not an easy task. And when he becomes, or if he becomes the president of the United States, a lot of them are having to put people in place that they think can run these departments. It's not just the president running around all the time. See, that's what she don't understand. Again, broke people mindset. She don't understand that if he knows how to run a business, the United States is a big business, then he probably may have a better chance in being a successful president and knowing how to look at things, because when it comes to the economy and things like that, might be better. That's why our president now, Mr. Joe Biden, you don't know nothing, bro. We are in a drizz out. All right. We are in a drought right now, and it's horrible. You don't know nothing about freaking economy.
Do some type of service to the country, and I spend hours looking. You were in the Phi Beta Kappa. Did you have a leadership role in college, the honor roll? When somebody sets service as the standard and they've done no service except to themselves, that's a fair question. It's a question, and you
So
just
I've been on. Look, I was on high school student council. Yes, absolutely.
Were you a leader? Were you a leader?
I was a vice president of my high school student council.
Who cares?
Absolutely, I was the
Okay.
president of the
Okay,
National
great.
Honor Society. I can go down the list. It's just that
That's
these
what
are
I was asking you to do. Go down the
Absolutely.
list. But
So
proceed.
I was a president of the National Honor Society. I was the vice president of my student council. I was a lead amongst the volunteers at the hospital where I served growing up. I was actually a leader in volunteer research over the summers from my senior year.
all of that, but you already admitted all of that was to get into college.
Not
But
all
go
of
ahead.
it, but I am.
What the hell is she talking about? Why wouldn't he be doing that in high school to try to better himself with education? And you are talking about grade school. You're talking about elementary and high school. You think that someone's going to do something in middle school and high school to be the president of the United States? Bro, This lady is dumb, dude. Yeah, high school student council. She's talking about a man who's running for president and what he's done as far as service. And her whole point of this whole video was to talk about what he's done in high school, in middle school. And this man is telling her about way more important things. This is important. This is irrelevant. This is 100% an irrelevant conversation that this lady is having. I'm only gonna play a couple more seconds and I'm done.
I think that
I know that's self-service though. I just do you understand the difference between self-service
and
service?
I think the reality is, and I think we just all have to be more honest. When many high school students are serving today, not all of them, but I think let's smoke it out. I don't like that structure where we actually mix service with self-interest.
And I don't like the structure of somebody saying somebody need to give service as a veteran. I don't like the structure of somebody going to the highest office of the land and have not served anybody.
I don't like your hair. How about that? I don't like your hair, lady. Now what? It's fake anyway. You got that thing hanging on the back of your head of your real hair. Probably that ponytail probably about T-big. I don't like that. It ain't servicing me. It ain't servicing my eyes. You gonna tell somebody what you don't like
at any time unless it was self-serving. So this is where we just have two different ideologies. And I know your goal is to come here and get into. Yeah, I know that's why we got different perspectives.
Two guys, you got to leave in 5 minutes.
I'll let them wrap up.
Let me just say one thing: is here's my vision of the run for presidency. And this is why I say I'm an open book. Is my job is to make sure people in this country know who I am and what I stand for. And I think that very few politicians on either party actually get that job done. So what I say is I'm an open book about who I am and what I stand for. Whether the people of this country want to vote for me, that's their question, not mine. That's their job to determine, not mine. And you're free not to vote for me. I expect you won't, and that's okay. But I'm doing my job in the 3 books I've written over the last year, in the conversation I'm having with you guys, being far more honest than any politician that I know in the last 10 years in this country. And I think when I say we want to fix corruption, you don't know what the first step is? The first step is actually people being honest. So you guys know me. You know what I stand for. I haven't hit back on that. When the people in this country want to vote for it, that's their choice.
Do you want to unite the country?
I do want to unite the country.
So why is like one of your marquee campaign proposals making sure black people can no longer benefit from affirmative action?
See, here's the thing. It's actually been a disastrous experiment over the last 60 years.
Here we go. There go the black person. Here we go. How unfair everything is. Here we go. I'm gonna end the video up, but here we go. Charlemagne.
I've seen the impact that it's had. Unlike a lot of other executives, I've had senior executives in my company who happen to be black, senior executives in my campaign who happen to be black. I actually went to a majority or close to majority black school 1st through 8th grade. There isn't a single one of those black kids or black colleagues that could not have achieved everything I have in my life. I firmly believe that to be true. And I have seen the unfair discrimination behind closed doors, the things that people will say behind closed doors, about somebody who would have had that position anyway, but was unfairly tarred with the taint of saying they got it because of a race-based quota system.
All right, so I think that makes another video, man. But I'm gonna end it off on there. I can't stand it, man. Like, she was so nasty through this entire interview with this man, and she thought she really was doing something. She really thought she was doing something by asking him what he's done in high school, in middle school, in preschool. As if this is relevant at all. I don't get it. I don't get it, man. We are definitely in trouble when it comes here, because I don't understand how any of what she said was important. I mean, I feel stupid by listening to her because she talked about, I can't tell you the stuff I did in middle school and high school. I mean, that doesn't determine how I'm going to be successful in life. It doesn't. But anyways, that's my reaction to Tezlyn Figaro and my man Vivek Ramaswamy. I'm actually pretty interested in hearing because this show didn't let me know anything about his policies or what he's planning on doing. It just showed me that he's able to shut down this ignorant, dumb lady. But I'm looking forward to kind of hearing more from him and kind of seeing really what he has to bring, or what they got to say. So anyways, that's it for this. Hope y'all enjoyed this reaction. Don't be talking about people high school. Remember, this is chess, not checkers. I'm going to see y'all at work.